back to Simply Watching TV. Today, we are back with Sex and the City. And if you watched my last video, then you already have heard my apologies and my explanation for why it's been like a couple of weeks. I'm just trying to... This side is so flat. And I'm not understanding why. This is not a hair page, but maybe it needs to be because I'm trying to figure it out. But anywho, I'm back and I'm ready to get into the next episode. So we are on season 1, episode 3, Bay of Married Pigs. Yay! So this episode is talking about the, how should I say this? They say the fights, but the fight between married couples and single people. And that whole thing of where one doesn't understand the other and vice versa. So, let's get into it. The scene opens up with, well, I forgot what the scene opens up with, but basically Carrie is spending time with one of her favorite couples. She has so many, like, first of all, Carrie has a lot of friends. Like, she walks down the street and people know her and, like, know her. Not just like, oh, yeah, that's Carrie Bradshaw from so-so. No. People are like, Carrie? Wow, my best friend since blah, blah, blah. Like, I could never. I can't even imagine having so many friends. Like, that's crazy. But anyway, not only does she have, like, a lot of friends, period, she has a good amount of married friends. So one of her favorite married couples, she was staying with for like a couple of days or maybe like the night or something like that. And she would tell them all about, like, you know, her one night stands, her romantic rendezvous with like these men that she would meet and stuff like that. And you know how people always joke about how like married couples like to live vicariously through their single friends. So they're like eating that up. Like, she's telling the story like, oh wow, this is so funny. Like, we don't know when's the last time we got to do something like that because we've been married. So she's telling them that next morning she's waking up and here comes the husband walking down the hallway without his drawers on. Sir, why are you walking down the hallway in your house? Granted, this is your house, but you know you have a guest staying here and a female guest. A woman guest, a guest of the opposite gender in your house. And you walking around with no clothes on, no trousers, no undergarments, nothing. You have nothing on. He had on a t-shirt, but your booty was out. She saw your booty and something else. Like, that's crazy. And especially when she's friends with your wife. Like, why do y'all put people in weird situations? So the episode started off wrong already. Started off wrong. Turn it off, playback, redo it. It's going to be the same thing, but started off wrong. So she's just like, whoa, bruh. So, of course, she tells the friend, like, whenever she sees her or whatever, the friend stopped down and got some muffins. People love muffins. She stopped down and got some muffins. And she's like, yeah, so, you know, I saw Peter in the hallway. And she's like, oh, yeah? And she was like, yeah. And his thanger was out. His thanger was out. And the friend is not amused. I mean, rightfully so. Why is your thing out? Like, why? And she's just like, so, of course, the husband comes, like, right then and there. And she's like, did Carrie see your friend? And he's like, yeah. I was on my way to the bathroom. And she's like, oh, the bathroom? Oh, really? You know they got into it bad. As soon as Carrie packed her things and jetted, they got into it. And rightfully so, because, excuse me, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? So she's out to lunch with her friends and she's telling them about it. And they're just like, why did you do that? Like, they're confused just like I was watching it. Like, what? Why did you do that? And of course, the obvious, like, your mind immediately goes straight to, like, was he trying to sleep with you? Like, he was trying to come on to you? Like, what was the vibe? And she's like, it didn't feel like that. Which it didn't. When you watch it, he's just so nonchalant about it and just so, like, weird. Like, it wasn't a sexual, like, kind of, I mean, what else does that mean? But it's just like, it was so weird. Like, he was just like, hey, good morning, thing out. Like, and so as soon as they're talking about it and they ask her, like, you know, what was it talking about? Like, what was it talking about? And here comes a guy with the pepper. And he's like, fresh grated pepper. And they're like, looking at her like, what? Side note, their salad looked really good. I love a good like restaurant size salad. Like not like sometimes I need a break because I'm a salad girl. This is a side note. This ain't got nothing to do like with the episode for real. I love salad. I love to like dress my salad up. But sometimes I like to take a break and just have a nice plain lettuce, tomato, pepper, nice ranch on that thing from like the restaurant, that little starter, that little appetizer salad right before it just looked like. And of course Miranda was Miranda eats like making sure you know how good that salad is, and it looked amazing. So shout out to the salad. Curious now, I want to know if her friend was mad at her because she brought it up and he showed her his finger, or was she irritated that her husband showed her his finger? Because obviously, right, you would be irritated that your husband showed your friend his finger. But you know how some women who be irritated at you, obviously it doesn't make any sense, but they be irritated at you because you saw their husband's finger, and it's like, I didn't volunteer to see it. I didn't. So it's like, why are we getting the energy? Because that's like, when I saw it, I was like, she mad at her or she mad at him? Anyway, it's not really that important, but I just want to know, like, was she whatever, right? So then they get into this thing, right? Because they're just like, oh. So she talks to the friend about it, and the friend is like, you want to understand, right? She's obviously irritated, but it's not clear on like it's never said who she's irritated at. So I think it's just like to imply she's irritated at him. But then it's like a little shade thrown to Carrie's way. That's why I'm kind of confused, because Carrie is asking her like, like, what's the vibe? And she's like, you want to understand because you're single. Girl, what? What does that have to do with anything? Like, if my boyfriend showed my friend his finger, I'm upset. Like, what are we talking about? I don't have to be married to understand that. Like, that's crazy. And so then that causes this whole little thing. Like, do married women have like some kind of thing like against single women, and we don't understand, and then vice versa? You know what I mean? So that sparks the question: Are jealous married women or jealous single women? So then that's the whole thing of like, married women, do they feel some kind of way because they're in this marriage? I don't think like at the beginning, like, or when they get married, but like after a while, it's just like, I miss being single. I can't hang out with my single friends. So then they start interviewing all of New York City, every walk of life in New York. And they're asking, what's your take? Do you think married people are jealous of single people? Can married people still be friends with single people? A lot of people bring that up. I see it being a little difficult depending on the situation, depending on the people, depending on the spouse. Okay. And a lot of people say, I try to be friends with my married friends, and it's all about we. It's all about them. It's and their spouse. It's never, they can't be independent no more. Then the other guy talks about how he started, he got married to this lady who don't even like her husband's friend, and now they don't even hang out. And it's like, that's kind of whack. like that. I mean, I could see it if he was one of those friends that kind of got your husband into some mischief, and you're just like, but like to that's pretty sad, because he looked really sad when he said it. To have your best friend go from like your best friend to like not talking to you anymore, except for like on certain days or special occasions or something, because they got married, it's just like, really? But okay. So that's, that kind of thing. Then they get into this lady who's sitting here with her husband, and she's talking about, well, I decided to grow up, and I wanted to face reality and settle down and get married. I mean, and then what are other people gonna do? Die alone and miserable? And it's like, you don't want something miserable. You did not once say that you fell in love with your man and you wanted to be with your man, and that's what it is. You said you faced reality and you got married. What does that mean? Like, where are we going with that? That can go so many different ways, and I need you to narrow it down to one. Because don't sit up here and try to make it seem like you make the right choice when you sounded crazy. And hers was just sitting there like, that's my woman, and I'm gonna stick beside her, whatever she say. No, that's crazy. Because no, like, what are you talking about? I decided to face reality. No, what you sound like you did was you sound like you got married because you felt like you had to. But we're gonna leave that alone to that lady and her man. So Carrie and Stanford, our favorite, are walking down the street and she runs into an old friend and he introduces her and Stanford to his life partner. And they ask Carrie if she's married. And of course she's just like, no, I'm not. Like, where are we going with this? And they're like, oh, perfect. Can you donate your egg so we can have a baby? And she's like insulted. Like, not insulted, like make a scene like, oh my God, get away from me. But she kind of has that realization like, oh my God. And she even says, like, is that not in these exact words, I'm paraphrasing, but basically her thing is that all I'm good for is to just give away my egg? Like, I'm not even making the babies for me. I'm now giving away my eggs because I'm not a married woman. Is that what this is? Is it? I don't know. They gave her her card and they said, call us if you need someone to talk to. They said, call us and let us know. And of course, we'll pay for everything. You know, it's some good money in surrogacy. Is that what it is? Surrogacy? Being a surrogate? It's a lot of money in that. Could you do it? I don't know, but I'm just saying. And so she's just like, yo, I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I low-key feel violated as a single woman. Hey, you guys, if I keep doing this, please don't get irritated with me. It's just, when I look back on these videos, my hair is so flat. It's almost embarrassing, and it almost makes me not even want to post it. So I just got to make sure, because I do a lot of head movements, and I don't want it to get flat like halfway through the video. But anyway, so she's like, insulted, like she feels bad. She's like, I can't, like, what? I'm not just a place to get eggs when you want a baby. Like, I want to be treated like a human. Like, don't do that. Don't squash me down to just that, right? On the other side of town, somewhere on somebody's softball field, they doing the same thing to Miranda, bruh. Like, they over here trying to figure her out too, down at the law firm. And it's so funny because I'm doing Girlfriends and Sex and the City at the same time, but I've watched both shows like before now, obviously. And it's so funny, like, when I'm actually like watching it to like talk about it and stuff like that, the similarities in these shows are hilarious because Miranda and them and her law firm are playing softball. Later in the season, Joan and her law firm, they play softball. Like, it's hilarious how they, you know, kind of piggyback. But anyway, they doing the same thing to Miranda, bro. They playing softball, and here come Jeff, right? Jeff is just like, Miranda, I got a surprise for you. And she has this cute Harvard sweatshirt on. It's so cute. I love sweatshirts with school names. I want everybody's school. I don't care if I went there and never even heard of it. I don't care. I want it. I love school apparel. Paraphernalia, whatever. I like it. But anyway, so she's like, okay, lit. So she goes, next thing you know, it's a woman. Now, Jeff, when did Miranda ever tell you that she likes women? When did Miranda ever tell you that? Like, that is just so crazy. She was like, this is awkward, right? And so the girl's sitting there thinking like, I'm about to, you know, I'm meeting me a dime. And Miranda's like, let me go get a soda. You thirsty? I'm thirsty. You thirsty? I'm thirsty. We thirsty. I'm gonna go get us a soda, right? Jeff! She goes to find Jeff. Jeff's like, boy, do I know how to pick him or what? Like, this is perfect. I know y'all gonna fall in love. I know you gonna shout me out at the wedding toast. I know I'm the man. She said, absolutely, all of that in a bag of chips. Here's the gag, though. I don't like women. I'm not into women. Who told you I was into women sexually? Who said that I want to date women in a romantic way? Who told you that? And he said, what? You don't go that way? She said, no, I'm just single. I just don't have a man right now. Like, that's just what it is. It's not because I'm gay. I don't have a man. And he's like, oh, my bad. Like, which is crazy, which is so crazy. It would have been all kind of HR, sexual harassment, all kind of stuff, like, happening. You know what I mean? But it's just like, what? Like, you really did that? That's wild, right? They ended up still having a great time at the softball event. I think she handled it great. Jeff was like, you want me to tell her? And she's like, no, I'll let her know, whatever. I think she handled it in a great way. She wasn't mean to the girl. The girl was like, oh, that's funny, whatever. Still want to play some softball? Sure. So they have a ball at the softball game, so much so that her boss still thinks that she's gay. And he's like, hey, what do you guys look, first it was Charles, now it's Chip, child. Hey, call me Chip. My wife and I are throwing a little soiree. Why don't you guys stop by, right? So Miranda is not even thinking like, oh, they think I'm a couple, let me put it into this, because that's not what it is. No. Miranda is like, green light. They think we're a couple. Now all of a sudden I'm hobnobbing with my boss, and this could potentially get me where I needed to get me. So let me fake the funk a little bit and get me where I need. I'm gonna let it land, and then we'll see where it goes. Bad idea. Terrible idea. Terrible. I cannot stand when people lie about, like, in shows. I can't stand when people lie thinking that it's gonna lie about something of that magnitude, thinking that it's gonna get them somewhere, and then it ends up getting you nowhere. But we'll see where it gets her. So she's like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. You pretended to like women to make partner, Miranda? But then it just tells me, look at all the stuff we had to do. Like, we had to pretend to engage in something that has nothing to do with our capabilities at the workplace. Nothing to do with our job description. But I'm over here lying about my personal life so y'all can consider making me partner. What? And all because they didn't understand the fact that she was just a single woman who was not in a relationship or was unmarried. Mind you, Miranda was like 30. Are you joking? I mean, granted, this was still back when, like, people was getting married at, like, 25. But, come on, like, again, even that, what's the rush? I'm 26. I can't imagine me getting married at 25. And that's just me. I'm speaking for me. I could not imagine getting married at 25. Like, what are we doing? No. So, yeah. She decides to go that route. She's going to pretend that she is, seeing certain people to get where she needs to get to in the workplace. Freeze frame, we go back to Carrie. Carrie is now having dinner, lunch, breakfast, somebody, with another married couple. I'm just like, girl, how many married friends you got? And they're sitting there, they're having a conversation, and they're asking her, like, basically they're grilling her about not being married. Like, okay, she's not married. Okay, but you want to get married eventually, though, right? Like, what if she don't? What if she don't? What if she good? What if she's good? Like, what if she's good? And she's just like, I don't know. I don't think I'm the marrying type. Like, I just, the longer I be around, I don't think that's my thing right now. I could see that on her. Like, at that time, I couldn't see Carrie being, just because she was still having fun. She was still, like, having casual relations with people. She was still going out partying whenever she wanted to. She loved her apartment. Like, she was living her best life at that time, minus big. She was still living her best life. So I do not blame her for feeling that way at that moment, at that time. I don't think we should really blame her at all. I mean, people don't want to be married. People don't want to be married. Whatever. And walks in somebody talking about, hey, I'm here. Sean is friends with the married couple as well, right? And he's like, hey. And the married guy is like, the husband is like, what a surprise. What a surprise. Oh my God, we're about to have dessert. Do you want to sit down? Pull up a chair. Sit down. And everybody knows what a surprise equals, like, blind date. Like, what a surprise is the opposite. It was not a surprise. In fact, you planned this, you down to the T. You made sure I was going to get here, right? So they're, talking, and the married couple leaves, and it's just Carrie and Sean, having dessert or whatever they're having, whatever. And she's kind of interested, like, oh, okay, let's see where this goes. I mean, it's not like love at first sight, like, ooh, like, let's get married tomorrow. I don't think for any of them. I didn't think it was for him either, honestly. I think he wanted to get married, but more so because he wanted to get married. And we'll get into that later. Right? So, freeze frame. Miranda takes her date, not date, that she met at the softball game. I forget her name. Sorry. She takes her date, not date to, get this, right wing Republican house party. Yeah. That ought to be interesting. They show up to the party. Miranda slicked her. She was committed to the role. Miranda was committed to what she was trying to pull to make partner. Like, she did it, honey. She slicked that hair back. She put that tie on. She said, I'm getting this. And they had a great time, right? And so after the fact, her boss, was just like, you should, come around. We doing this. Why don't you bring so-and-so? And she was like, I'm not going to bring so-and-so. And I'm not going to bring so-and-so because we're not really dating. I just, wanted to take advantage of the situation. You were a little bit more open to me at the softball. She didn't say all this, but you were a little bit more open because of X, Y, and Z at the softball game. So I just wanted to take advantage of the situation. And I came to the party. And, we'll see where it goes. I don't know why she said all that. I wouldn't have said nothing. Either you gonna go and you gonna bring shorty or you not. Like, don't do that. I'm not about to sit here and tell you what was my grand plan this whole time. Like, are you joking? Stop. I don't understand why do y'all always want to tell people y'all every move? You need to tell that man that. So, he's just like, oh, you crafty minion. Okay, that's an interesting thing to do. Sucks, because my wife was really, really excited to have a lesbian couple in our group, which, Miranda face cracked, because now you realize that all of that was only, how do you say? It was only, not a quota, but I guess a quota. That was only for show. They only wanted, again, right-wing Republican. And they want some lesbians in their group only to say that they have a lesbian couple in their social circle. That doesn't make you partner. Miranda, would you think they're not going to make you partner? They only wanted you and your girlfriend for show. Now she feels stupid. With her bow tie. It was a real tie. Now she feels silly because she shouldn't have been playing one with that girl. Don't be dragging her around to help you at work. Now, if they don't want to make you junior senior partner, they don't need to make you junior senior partner. But don't be, no. So, switch. We go back to Carrie, right? So Sean threw this party, and Carrie talks Charlotte and Samantha into going with her to the party. I think Carrie told Samantha it was going to be like some really good looking men there or something like that. Because Samantha was so disappointed when she walked into this party. First of all, they all were, because they realized that everybody was married. And they just felt like such outcasts, like, oh God, like we're the three single girls in a married couple's party. Now, I thought it was going to be something else. I thought it was going to be a swingers event or something, because what are we doing? Like, I didn't know where this episode was going. It's been a while. I was like, where are we going with this again? I don't think I've ever really paid attention to the full, like, this episode. This is one of those episodes that you just kind of because nothing major happens in this episode. But yeah, sorry. So to go back, they get there and this bunch of married couples. Samantha is pissed. She's just like, bruh, I'm literally standing here with all these men, some of these men that I done boned, and they wives are like right here. Like, this is crazy. And she's like, yo, I need a drink. Where's the bar? And he's like, oh, it's over here, this way, that way, whatever, right? So everybody's married. Charlotte is like, I don't know what Charlotte's thing is. Charlotte might be in heaven just seeing married people. Charlotte is a nutcase to me. But Charlotte may be in like just a merry utopia around all these people, and then she might also share the same sentiments with Samantha. Like, why am I here? So, what is that girl's name? Samantha. She is wasted in the kitchen, bro. She gets wasted. She's taking tequila shots, and Charlotte's like, "Oh, what are you doing? Like, this is crazy. Like, you're drunk. Like, you're getting drunk." And she's just like, "You see that guy? I slept with him. You see that guy? I slept with him. I slept with this. Oh, no. Sorry, I went too fast." Before she did that, she's having a conversation with a guy in the kitchen. Here comes his wife talking about, "Oh, excuse me, I need to introduce him to some people." And he's like, "Oh, okay, Samantha, this is so-and-so." And she goes, "His wife." Okay. Don't nobody want him. Like, Samantha's looking at her like, "Girl, if you could be anything in this life, you should want to be for real, because I don't want to be with him." Like, that's pretty crazy. And so that even, like, I think kind of pisses Samantha off a little bit more, because it's just like, bruh, like, not only are we in here with a bunch of married women, but not married women, married people, but these married women are psycho. Like, they think that we all want their men. Like, no, we're not here for that. Like, that's crazy. So then she gets drunk, because she's like, "I'm not having no kind of fun." Then she gets drunk. Then that's when Carrie walks in. Like, she's like, "Are you taking tequila shots? Like, what are you doing?" And then that's when she tells her, like, "You see that buddy over there? I slept with him. You see that buddy over there? I slept with him. I slept with all these men in here." She didn't say all that. And she didn't sleep with everybody in there. But she slept with enough of them for them to be married, right? Then Carrie finds out that everybody is trying to, like, seal the deal between her and Sean. Like, everybody is just talking him up. Like, "Oh, he's great. He has this much money in the bank. He has this kind of credit score. He owns this property and that property. And he comes from a long line of champion breed." Like, what are we talking about here? And she is just like, okay, this is going too far for somebody that I'm not necessarily interested in like that. And she's like, "I gotta talk to him, bro. I gotta talk to him." So she's talking to the girl. She's like, "Bro, they're trying to set me up." They turn around, and it's the same married couple from the beginning of the show. I forget what her name was, but it was her first. Peter, who showed his thinger. They showed up to the party. Samantha is drunk. Samantha is so drunk, and she's like, "Oh, so and so," and she goes, "Is this Peter? Is this Peter with the Peter?" And she starts cracking up, and the wife is pissed. She's like, "Not only did my husband show you his thing, but you went and told your friends that he showed you his thing." Wow. Her friend is mad. You thought she was mad before? She's really mad now. So they leave the party, and Charlotte takes Samantha home. Samantha is drunk. No, you know what? Charlotte takes Samantha to her place. Samantha is crazy drunk, and she's like trying to flirt with the doorman child. She's just like, ooh. So Charlotte like drags her upstairs. She comes back down, right? She walks out in New York City with a trench coat on. Okay? Asks the doorman for a cigarette. He gives her one. She opens that trench coat. It is below zero. And you out here in your La Perla drawers. What are you doing? She snagged him though. Oh, they did the deed, honey. They did the deed, and Charlotte walked in, but she like was going to the bathroom, and he was leaving, and he had his clothes in there, and he was like, "I'm so sorry," telling her his whole life story. Like, "Baby, don't nobody care about none of that." And she's like, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and when I come out, you're not gonna be here." Charlotte, please, like, just tell him to leave. Like you're doing too much. Like, all the time, you're just always doing too much. Like, just So, reason 576 why Charlotte will forever get on my nerves, and it won't even be like a redeeming quality in Charlotte. So, freeze frame, we go back to Carrie, right? The party is done. Everybody went home. Carrie's putting on her stuff, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you was going to stay, give me a little sugar." She's like, "This isn't really working for me." And she's like telling him, like, I don't really think this is gonna work out. And he's like, why? And she, tells him, like, I'm not really, I think we want two different things. You obviously want to get married, and I don't know what I want. I don't know if I want to get married. I don't know if I don't want to get married. I don't know. And he's just like, you smell my desperation. And I felt so bad for him because it was just like, oh, Pootie, you really do want to get married and, like, settle down and have kids and stuff. But I didn't like after, I just didn't care for, because he was frustrated. And then he starts telling her, like, you women are confusing. Y'all all say y'all want to get married. And then when somebody's trying to marry y'all don't want to get married. Y'all don't want to do it. And it's just like, okay, but baby, you don't even know Carrie. Why were you even thinking about marrying Carrie when you don't even know Carrie? You met her on a blind date. Y'all went on a few dates. You kissed her, and it wasn't even good because her eyes were wide open, like wide open, and she looked so awkward. That's not love. That's not even like that romantic, like fast track love that people always talk about when people get married in like 0.3 months or something before even like knowing each other for real. You know how people do that whirlwind romance? That wasn't even that. Like, you was just trying to get married so you can get married. And it's like, I don't think that's gonna yield you any positive results either. Like, you need to be dating and finding your person to find your person, not necessarily to be like, oh, I'm getting married finally. Like, come on, be for real. And she was just like, I don't, she gonna tell that man though, I was trying you on. And he looked at her like I looked at her, like, you got to be kidding me. That's what you got? You trying me on? Like, I'm a cheerleading uniform you trying me on? Like, I'm jeans over in the department store you trying me on? Like, you trying on these pair of shoes? Like, again, why do you always gotta say everything? Because that sounds so terrible. She breaks it off with him, but she hooks him up with Charlotte, right? Because he's just like, I just want to get married. And she's like, oh, you desperate to get married? Let me hook you up with my desperate friend that's desperate to get married. So they date, and at first it was great, and oh my God, they wanted the same things. They go to this antique shop, looking at china, and he's like, I've always wanted this in my dining room. She's just like, you wanted this. This particular china is what you wanted. She left him standing in that antique shop. Like, she could not do it because they have competing tastes in China. And it's just like, girl, what? Charlotte, you're so boring, literally. I could take a nap and wouldn't miss anything regarding Charlotte. Like, come on. So at the end of the movie, Carrie realizes that she has her girls. She has her friends. And there's nothing like getting together with your girls to go see a nice, fun, exciting movie. And I mean, yeah. So that is that episode. Bay of Married Pigs. Because there was some pigs in that bay. But next episode, we're doing season 1, episode 4. Forgot the name, forgot what it's about, but we'll talk about it.